One now, so I think we can get started.
Sure.
Welcome, folks, to our eighth Hydro Pensioners Association of Ontario Toronto District Zoom event of the year. Our guest speaker today is Nathalie Lacoste-Hoffman from the Canadian Abilities Foundation. She will provide an introduction to artificial intelligence, including using uses of ChatGPT and other AI tools. Um, Interestingly, the Canadian Abilities Foundation, they're a nonprofit organization, and I'm just making sure I get this right, that provides programs that support individuals living with physical and mental disabilities and their families and caregivers. So it sounds like we're right in their target audience. Again, the usual things, we will mute everybody once we get underway. You're welcome to use the chat to submit questions. And at the conclusion of the main presentation, we'll have a Q&A session. I think we're all set. So, Natalie, I will turn it over to yourself.
I think Maria, did you want to say a little something first?
Yes. Hi, good morning. I'm Maria, the Canadian Abilities Foundation.
Hi, Marie.
I will just introduce very briefly and pass it over to Natalie after. But yeah, so we are, as you mentioned, a charity where we're actually funded 40 years ago this year. So that's pretty impressive. And our goal is to build a more accessible future through advocacy and education, and of course, our programs. And these talks are part of our programs. And this one in particular was built to help people like you navigate technology and, online tools more safely and confidently. And in a world, with increasingly that's embracing artificial intelligence or AI rapidly, obviously we have to incorporate it into our discussion, and that's what we're trying to do today. And yeah, and now I will pass it over to Natalie, who will get it started. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Maria. And yes, so we're going to talk a lot about AI today. We're going to talk about security and how to use it safely. We're going to talk about how to find out all those AI deep fakes, figure out how to deal with them and how to recognize them. And then we're also going to talk about how to use our three main ones will be Microsoft Copilot, ChatGPT, and Gemini are the three main ones we're going to look at, how to use them, how to build a prompt, etc. So there you go. And if there's something more you want to learn about, you can always put that in the chat and I'll try to address it as we go. So this is what we're going to talk about. We're going to have a live demo, how it works. We're going to talk about privacy and security tips and that kind of thing. So as we know, AI is pretty much everywhere now. And sorry, it's part of everything. It's part of your GPS. It's part of your thermostat. Your appliances now can talk to you, and you can use AI to program them. It's part of all sorts of medical things that they do now, robotic arms and that type of thing. So it's quite a powerful tool. And so we're going to show you how to get started on yourself. So what exactly is AI? AI is actually a group of programs, sophisticated programs that sort of simulate human intelligence. It can't really think, but based on a whole bunch of data that it's been given, it can find patterns and sort of identify certain things. Okay. So this is how it learns. It reads a bunch of data, millions of pages. So for example, let's say we want to build an AI that recognizes cats and different types of breeds of cats, for instance. So the first thing that the programmers will do will show it a huge amount of pictures of cats, all sorts of cats. And then it's going to teach it which patterns. So for example, it's going to say, is this a dog or a cat, for example? And it's going to test it and see that it recognizes cats. And then it will practice that. And if it's made a mistake, it will be corrected. And then it might specialize it. Okay, now that you know what cats are, you can recognize what a coon cat is, what regular, that type of thing. So that's how it sort of works. That's how they program it. As you know, it's already, as I said, in your daily life. It's helping doctors in diagnosis. It's actually partially in education. Some of the teachers might use AI to build some of their lessons to sort of get some ideas going. They don't just use that, but they get some ideas started with that. It's obviously in your GPS to find your fastest route. A lot of time, for better or worse, it's our customer service people are not people, but they're bots running us through different menus and that type of thing. They are AI companions, not currently in an actual robot way, but if you chat with your AI, then it can sort of feel like you have a person that's listening to you. And then obviously in cooking, your washing machine will tell you how it will tell itself that this is a big load, a small load, etc. And it will do all of this through AI. So should we be concerned? A lot of people are saying this is something we should be concerned about. And like any new technology, it's how we apply it and how it's used by us humans that makes the difference, whether it's a bad thing or a good thing. Just like any other technology that's come before, it's really how we as humans use it that makes it good or bad. So the concern is that it's building way faster than we're able to put rules and regulations in place for it. And that's an actual concern right now. But it is coming along. The EU and UK have already passed a whole bunch of regulation bills to ensure safety accountability. Canada and the US are working on those types of bills right now. And these laws cover safety testing, economic impact, like how we are all worried about how many jobs will be lost. So these laws sort of deal with that, and using responsibly instead of using it for date fakes and scams. So the goal is to have AI be a help to humanity, not replace or harm it. But it's always a good idea to sort of know everything you can about it and be informed rather than just be worried about it, etc. So safety, security, and deep fakes. So when you are using yourself an AI like ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Claude, any of those, the AI servers where you're building your account, all those servers are encrypted and secure. You shouldn't be worried about putting in your email to build your account. And having an account on one of these is useful because it will remember your chats from before if you have an account. If you don't have an account, it won't remember, which is fine as well. Just beware, and I'm going to show you a little bit very quickly how to recognize some of these scams and AI generated content, but be aware that there's currently a lot of online scams that use AI generated content. Never share on any platform personal information like passwords, banking details, SIN numbers, etc. Okay. If you are able, all of these have an ability to have your multi-factor authentication. And even though that is kind of a pain because then you have to enter in a second code, etc., it is much more secure if you enable that multi-factor authentication. So I recommend that you do that. And because AI is not able to think for itself, it's just sort of finding patterns and finding the best things that's got in its big memory that might suit what you ask it. It's always a good idea to double check responses, particularly if you're talking about medication, any medical issues, financial issues, lawyer type things, issues. Always double check these things and double check. And if you are looking at some media that seems a little iffy to you, it's best to check something that looks like it's a CBC, for example, program, but it looks a little bit different, it's always best to go and look on the actual platform of the whatever it is that you're looking at. Okay. And always verify information with experts like doctors, lawyers, financial advisors. So it has limitations. It can make mistakes. We call them hallucinations. Especially, always check important information. Again, especially health, legal, finance, those types of topics. And because AI is built on human written information, it can show some bias. So it's always important to look at what it's given you and think critically. Does this make sense? Is this something that I agree with? Can I verify this some other way, etc.? It can't always, provide real-time predictions, and then you should not go with that anyway, like which stocks to buy today or whatever. That's something that you should not rely on. All right, so as I said, I'm going to repeat it one last time. Because it can make mistakes, it's best to use it sparingly when thinking about medications. It's better to talk to your pharmacist. Physical or mental health, it's better to talk to a health professional if you have a question in that area. Finances, again, best to talk to a reputable financial advisor or a lawyer. All those things. So AI generated content refers to any text, image, audio, video generated by artificial intelligence rather than humans. So it analyzes a bunch of data to learn patterns and will generate novel content that mimics human creativity. So sometimes, all right. I'm seeing that there's issues with audio. Maybe I can.
Let's see.
Maybe I can.
Did we mute? Let me see if I muted everybody. Maybe that's our problem. Hang on a second. Let me mute everybody, Natalie, and you unmute yourself. Okay. So hang on a second.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Go ahead and okay.
All right. Does that work better?
I can hear you,
If not,
Natalie.
I will change. Perfect. Okay. So deep fakes are a specific kind of AI generated media where a person in an existing image or video is replaced with someone else's likeness, often using deep learning techniques. So this is the computer is fed a lot of different data, much more data that enables that to happen. So I don't know if some of you may have seen the video of Morgan Freeman talking. It's not actually Morgan Freeman talking, it's somebody else, but his image has been superimposed over that other person. So this is what a deep fake is. And it's used to do a lot of scams, especially financial scams. So it's very important to be very critical when you see videos on Facebook or that type of thing, announcing this great way of making quick money from people who are famous. It's better to go and take a look at their websites to see if they actually support this, if this is true, because a lot of time it's a scam. So AI generated media encompasses everything that is made synthetically, not by by people, but actually by social. Okay. Let me see if I use my. Okay, is this better? Somebody's still talking about the. Anyway, all right.
You're a little lower in volume now, Natalie. Sorry.
Okay. How's that? Better?
That's better, yes.
Okay, I'll stay with this then. All right, so just as an example of a scam, there was someone who saw a video of Elon Musk on Facebook talking about a crypto platform that would make you lots and lots of money. A lot of these will bring you in, and suddenly you'll be making money on their platform. And so they will ask you for more money and then suddenly your money is gone. So just be very wary when you're looking at videos on Facebook, anything like that, that these types of videos are out there, and it's important that you verify any information with other places, other websites, etc. There's even one that looks like it's Mark Carney on a CBC interview, um, talking about this great investment platform, but it's not actually a CBC interview. It's one of these deepfakes. So just to be wary that AI can be used for good, but it can be used for evil. So just be very wary about these things. So if you're checking for a fake photo, you can check out the fingers. Often it will have either an extra finger or part of a finger, etc. The face looks way too pretty. There's no blemish, no nothing. It's got, like, if you can see a picture of a crowd, some of the signs might have words that don't look like words or garbled. The shadows will fall wrong. And you can look up on Google, pictures of AI that are cues that it's a deep fake, and it will send you a bunch of different pictures that you can take a look. If the black background is particularly blurry, or the objects blur into each other or look like they're floating, or the hair might look like it's merged into the background, these are all cues that this is a fake photo. Or if it looks like right now I'm blurred and it looks like my image might be a little bit odd. If the picture that you're looking at is like this, it might be an AI generated content. For videos, you might want to look for unnatural blinking, something that's too quick or too rapid or slow, or stiff movements or strange facial features. I've seen one where the smile actually was only part way on one side and more on the other side. It was really eerie. And then lip sync features, like the sound and the lips don't match. And if, again, the body language is a little bit weird, looks a little bit robotic maybe, or a movement that a person wouldn't make. And always, the best clue in these things is always the background, because they do work very hard on the foreground, because faces are what will convince you, but they don't work as much on the background. So if images look like they don't belong, or the lighting is a little bit weird, these are clues to look for. And again, for speech, and unfortunately now they are using speech. I know some of you have probably heard about the grandma scam, or the grandparent scam, where your grandchild calls you and tells you they've been put in jail and that they need money sent to such and such right away. But now they're able to, if your child has pictures or video on their social media, they're able to lift that and use AI to make them talk to you. So just make sure that you verify, even though they will tell you not to verify with someone else. Make sure you verify, call your child that has the grandchild, etc., to verify. Or some families are now coming up with a safe word for the whole family to use. So you can maybe come up with a safe word and you ask for the safe word, and if they can't come up with it, obviously it's a scam. But if you are hearing, something that is too fast or too slow or has weird pauses, that might be a cue. A lack of natural variation in pitch and volume, so sounding monotone or mechanical, those are the types of cues. And if it might not sound like a natural human having the ups and downs of natural discourse, or empathy or feeling this. And again, the background noise is weird. Lack of, or there's none at all. If your grandchild is in prison, there's going to be noise, but on the phone, there's nothing, no other noise. This could also be a clue. Come on. Oop. All right, now we're going to do the fun stuff, how you can use AI and what it can do for you. So if you are doing an ancestry research, it can help you find better sites, some information. It will click through, it will do all the clicking through 20 websites and find information you might be looking for. It will enable you to draft an email. I've done this more times. I'll ask it, please draft an email, a polite email to my landlord or my son's landlord, asking for the light in the hallway to be fixed. Okay, it will do that for you. It will find your recipes. You can say, I have a tomato, pasta, and 3 mushrooms in my fridge. Can you come up with a recipe using these things? Okay. It will help you plan a trip. I have done this very many times. It will give you an itinerary. For example, I went to Portugal. I asked for a 3-day itinerary, including my husband has a gluten intolerance, including restaurants where I can find gluten-free pastéis de nata, which is the pastry there, etc. So I had it do a whole itinerary for those 3 days. It gave me all the sites to go visit, etc. It can help you learn things and quiz you. So I want to learn about fluid mechanics because I've got this sudden interest in fluid mechanics. It will teach you in whatever language that you need. So I'm a total beginner, but I want to learn about fluid mechanics. Can you teach me? It will teach you, and then you can ask it, quiz me along the way so I can be sure I am understanding. It will do exactly that. Okay. You can edit, create images. So if you have an old photo that has faded, you can upload it to the ChatGPT or whatever, and you can ask it to restore the color and restore the picture so that it is much clearer. It will do exactly that. You can upload a picture, and if there's a person that is no longer part of the family and you don't want them in the picture, it will remove it for you. It will remove that person. So it can do all sorts of editing just quickly for you. It will compare prices. I asked it the other day to find me a sneaker that had lots of arch support and was super comfortable. I gave it a budget. I told it had to be $100 or less. And I told it to look in the stores in my area. I gave it the start of my postal code, not the whole one, because we want to give as little identifying information as possible. But I gave it the first 3 digits of that code, and it found 4 stores with a couple of different options. It gave me a chart with all that information laid out. And you can just chat with it, have a conversation. I once asked ChatGPT what it thought about the ethics of using ChatGPT. And we had a whole big conversation about that. So, you can chat about all sorts of different things. So how many of you, I think you can react at the bottom. Can we react? Yeah, you can react and put your hand up. How many of you have used either ChatGPT, Gemini, or Copilot? If you put your little hand, you click the react at the bottom and then lift your hand. That will give me an idea. All right. Okay, so, all right, a thumbs up, excellent. All right, so a few of you. These are the 3 most popular ones, the ones that are the most used. There are many, 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 many other platforms that you can use. Claude is one of them and lots of others. But these are the 3 main ones, and they're quite useful. So ChatGPT is best for writing, answering questions, learning new topics, and recipe ideas. It's also quite good for pictures now. I've found it has gotten incrementally better. Gemini, if you are using the Google Suite, the Google Docs and all that kind of thing, it's really good to use with that. It's excellent at making pictographs and everything if you're making a presentation like this one. This one was made on Google, and I did use the Gemini to help with a couple of slides to make it prettier. So it can be used. Gemini is really good using with Google. it's also really good for brainstorming, that type of thing. And it's good for news summaries because Google is attached to so many news networks. It's really good for news summaries. And Copilot is really good if you are mainly a Windows user and use things like Excel, Microsoft Word, etc., Microsoft the slideshow thing, which I can't think of the name right now. But anyway, that thing, Copilot is best using in conjunction with that. It will be really seamless. It will do everything that Gemini does for Google. It will do with anything Windows.
So
And it's
PowerPoint, Natalie?
Yes, thank you. Thank you, PowerPoint. Yeah. So it will do everything that Gemini does for Google for Windows types of things. It's good for creating images. It makes really cool, interesting slides if you're using the slide you just told me 2 seconds ago. Anyway, it's very good at all of those things. It will also even make you an Excel spreadsheet. If you give it just a little bit of information, this is my budget, this is what I have, it will make you an Excel spreadsheet just for that. If you are wanting to use it, you can use it through the internet, which is what we're going to do in a little bit. But you also can have it on your iPad and on your tablet, Android or iPad, or your telephone, Android or iPhone. You can have it on all of those. I have used my ChatGPT when I've been traveling to just research something quickly, and it was on my phone. So I have it everywhere, and I use it quite often. So ChatGPT is the first one that came out. It's the most popular one, maybe, artificial intelligence program, and it understands human language. You can have it in French and English, Polish, Italian, whatever. You can put the language to whatever you want, and it will give you human-like responses. It can be used for almost anything, answering questions, translating languages. If you are translating a language, please make sure that someone is looking at it and helping you out, because it does sometimes make mistakes. I've had it translate to French, which is my other language, and I went, not quite, but it is pretty good. It will give you some ideas for creative writing, and it will give you a conversation. In case you're interested, GPT stands for Generative Pre-trained. So it generates a response on pre-trained information. So this is what your screen will look like when you get into ChatGPT. I have to tell you, Gemini and Copilot are very similar. They'll also have your chats, your prior chats, etc. on the left side. This button here is for a new chat. Down here is what you would click to look at, if you want to change that language. As I said, you would click on your name and the settings would be there. But this here is the important part. This is where you enter your query. For example, who are the past presidents of the USA and how did they end their tenure? If you're interested in this, you can put it there and it will give you a whole summary of that. Okay. If you're not quite happy with the response it gives you, you can have it regenerate. You can say, yes, this is good, but I would like also the first ladies that belong to each of them, for example, and it will add that to the response. So you can always ask it to regenerate this current response and refresh it. Or if you're just not happy with it, it just refresh and it'll give you a better or different answer. You can always copy any of these things. So if you are, for example, asking it to give you a draft of a letter, you can do the usual copy and paste into either your email or a WordPerfect document or that type of thing. So to clear all your chat, so I have about, I would say 25, you'll see chats lined up here. If I wanted to clear all of those out, I would go into my settings and there's a button to clear all of that out. So a good prompt recipe. So you will ask for a task. So create a physical plan, a context. So time, budget, constraints, these are the contexts that you want it. The format you want it in, I want it as a table, and the tone that you might want. So create a simple one-day trip for a senior in Toronto. Budget is $50 and they're traveling by public transportation. Avoid stairs where possible and show it as a table with activities, time, transportation, and notes. This is a clear thing that the AIs will understand. You want to have the task, the context, the format, and the tone as much as possible in your prompt. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of a, okay. All right, ChatGPT. So as you can see here, oh, I've got it in French. Let me go back and change that. Last time I taught this, I was in French. So I went down at the bottom, found my name, and I'm going to change it from Français to English. And there we go. So as you can see, I have all my chats along here. These are my images that I have asked it to do are live here. You can see all the different ones that I've had here down at the bottom. My library is in here of all the different things that I have uploaded. I don't have any plugins, but if I wanted plugins, I could put in here all sorts of different plugins that it would help me with. I don't have any projects, and I haven't used my Codex. Codex is to help you code. So if you are into coding, you can click on code and it will help you code. So, okay, so this Codex if you're interested. But I just want a new chat. I want to either search the web, write or edit, and I'm going to ask, for example, like, does anyone want to give me a prompt here to try? Okay, well, I will try the first one. Teach me about fluid mechanics as if I was a 12-year-old. Make sure to give me quizzes. Okay. And there we go. It gives me lessons, etc., that I can follow along. Okay. I think I have somebody wanting to talk about dogs. What specifically do you want to know about dogs? Give me 5 new tricks I can teach my dog. Give me links to videos. All right, so here we go. There's all sorts of different, this is interesting. Now I know I can go and teach my dog these, but these are different things that you can ask it to do. So and this is all the same. As I said, when you're building your account, it's important to go into settings and set up your multi-factor authentication. I've put mine on. It's important to put it on. It's also important to remember not to put any important information like credit card numbers, etc. Do not buy anything directly from here. Don't do any of that kind of, okay? Gemini is pretty much the same. As you can see, it's got the same sort of layout. It's got Flash here. These are the 3 different types of brain it has, or learning modes or thinking modes. Flashlight, so if you want a fast answer, give me the answer of 2 + 2. Your flashlight will be your easy answer, okay? What's the weather today? That type of thing. Flash is just general. Give me a little scenario about a trip into Toronto. that is pretty easy. Your pro is going to be coding, advanced math. Can you help me solve this geometric equation, etc.? And then extended thinking might be, I want to come up with a whole flow for my scheduling for the next 3 weeks. These are the appointments I have, etc. And these are the tasks I need to do. It will figure out a whole schedule for you, how many days you have to spend on this, how many days you have to spend on that, etc. Build the whole thing out. Okay. It will do the same with images, and you have your library just the same. And again, you have your settings down at the bottom. It's exactly the same. Okay. You can use this in your Google Suite and have it generate pictures, or in your it will give you a whole spreadsheet. If you just ask it here, Gemini, I want to make a budget. I have these types of things I have in my budget, transportation, etc. I need a column for totals. I need a column for all the, it will build out the Google spreadsheet for you, and it will give you a link to it right here, which is pretty. And Microsoft, again, is pretty much the same. You can use the smart, oh, that is also in French, pardon me. Oh, and this, unfortunately, I have to go into my Microsoft account to fix that. It's not a 2-second thing. So Microsoft is linked to your account. This Copilot, you have to have an account with Microsoft to use Copilot. You can log on. Actually, I really don't think you can. You need your Microsoft account to use Microsoft Copilot. And any changes that you make to language and all that has to be changed through your account. Okay. But it's got, again, the different types of learning. This is a deep learning or deep response. This is study and learn. It will give you automatically, if you have the study and learn, it will give you automatically quizzes and tests. You don't have to ask for it the way you do with ChatGPT. And then there's the research one. But again, it looks pretty much the same. This is where you put your query. This is your new conversation. This is your library here. This is your library. This allows you to see the whole thing. And this is your prior projects. And this is Imagine. It gives you a whole different things that you can take a look to inspire yourself. It's not really anything you necessarily ask it, but this is sort of some ideas that can sort of launch you for some ideas. Okay. And this gives you some labs that you can work on here. This is an ode poetry one that you can use. And then this says, for example, if you're having a problem and you need someone to chat about it with it and try and get different points of view, you can use this team of counselors here, équipe de conseillers, team of counselors, and put in your questions and all that, and different points of view will come at you, so that you can sort of talk it out. You can also, in each of these, you can use voice to generate information. I'm going to go back to this one here. So you can use your voice, and hopefully it'll work. Sometimes when I'm presenting, it's only so that it works, but you can use your voice to dictate something. Were there any more things in the chat of people? No. Please give me some tricks to do with my dogs. Make them more than the normal, or more complex than the normal type. And then you send it. Okay, and there we go. It will give it to you. If you are using it on your mobile device, it will actually talk to you with a voice. Because I've got my ears in and I'm connected to you, it doesn't do it very well on the computer here, but if I connected my phone, it would actually use its voice to answer me back. Okay, so that is it in a nutshell. I've gone through fairly quickly, I think. But I always do that with this because I always want to make sure that if there, I can show you some more things after, but I just want to make sure that if there aren't any questions that you have about any of this, that we can, or any queries you want to try or anything like that, that we have time to do those things. So any queries that you have, any questions, you may ask now.
I'll just start us off by saying thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today, Natalie. This is, I learned a lot of new things here.
Oh, that's
Um,
good.
Maybe I can start off with one question, hopefully fairly simple. I saw when you were near the start, when you were mentioning the idea of validating images that you're not sure are real or deep
Yeah.
fake or generated. You mentioned a couple of tools, Google Images and something called TinEye. Could you tell me a little more about that, please?
So if you go to Google Images, so TinEye is an add-on to your Google Chrome, and
Okay.
you can get an extension here. And I do have Hive Detector is another one here.
Ah,
If you can see here, Hive Detector will detect fake videos and pictures. Fake News Debunker is also one of those. And I do have the other, I think TinEye is a different program. I have to go back. I have a terrible memory.
that's okay. Basically, you're saying TinEye and Hive Detector are add-ons to the Chrome browser.
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
Okay.
So TinEye is a reverse image search. You just put your image URL. So when you click on an image, so let me go back to, for example, here. So if I click and no, this won't have a URL. Yeah, if I go here and I might be able to find a URL here. Nope. If I find a picture,
Mhm.
let's put dog and let's put images and let's click this picture and copy image address is
Okay.
what I would use here. And then I click it in here and then I can see, and then it's going to give me it's going to tell me where it's from,
Okay.
where it's been. It might tell me that this is an original, that it's not been anywhere. It might tell me, so this is telling me Alamy is a stock uh, photography place, but it's also been on all of these other places. So these are all the places that it's been. And the earliest one that we see is that 2015 down here. So at Media Bakery, that this was the first one that got it. So this is how you can sort of see, okay, it might be AI created, but it is a valid one that's, been used along, and it's not fake news. It's actually being used for different things. And
So
it
from
will
the
get,
context.
as you can see, it gives all the different websites of where you can find it. So you can go and take a look and verify where it's from.
Oh, okay.
So
Interesting.
that,
That's amazing.
yeah. Google Images does the same type of thing. You put in the URL and it will check for you where it's come from, etc.
All right.
Okay.
Are there any questions in the chat or anyone would like to unmute themselves and ask a question? If, if not, I'll just ask. I have another one for you,
Okay.
Natalie, in the meantime.
All right.
You talked about a couple of different tools, ChatGPT, Copilot, Google. I'm familiar with one called Claude by Anthropic.
Yep.
I just had any thoughts on that or exposure to that? I
I
know
have
that's
had some, yeah,
oh,
it's touted as being the most ethical one out there. That's what it calls itself.
okay.
Um, whether it is or not, I don't know, but it does say that it is the most ethical one out there. It's a good one. I've used it before. I enjoy it. I use these three the most because they are most easily linked right now for me, or at least to the things that I do normally. So, the Gemini is well linked to all my Google Suite, which I use frequently, and Copilot as well is linked to all my Windows things. And ChatGPT was the first, so I started using that quite early on. So those are the three that I use the most often, but Claude is an excellent one. It's actually a really good companion, I found. It talks much more much more like a human being, I found, much more relatable the way it talks rather than just spitting out information.
Okay.
But we can take a look if you'd like, because it's also a good one.
If it won't take too much time, sure.
Yeah, you do have to make an account with Claude. Some of the others you don't have to make an account to begin with. This one
Okay.
makes you have an account. I'm just going to sign in with Google for today because that's the fastest. It's usually the
Okay.
fastest.
Sure. I follow you. Yeah.
Okay. But it looks the same.
I I see. Yeah. Very similar.
Yeah. Just make sure you read through all those questions at the beginning. And this is this is one of the reasons why it says it's more ethical. It actually asks for your date of birth so that 14-year-olds can't go on there and get some
Right.
psychological advice that may or may not be good or whatever. So
Okay. Okay. I've heard it seems to have a reputation, strong reputation for coding, for helping with coding.
yeah,
Am I right in understanding that? Okay.
that is correct. Yeah.
So,
Okay. Let's say that.
okay.
Okay. All right. There we go. We're finally in. It looks the same. The fact it actually asks you for a name, so it will actually talk to you as your name. This is why I'm saying it sounds more like having a chat with a person. It will
Right.
talk to you as if you're a person and say, "Hey Nat, what do you want?" Or "Hey Nat, this is a great subject," or whatever. But everything
Okay.
else looks the same. This is where your chats reside. This is where all your projects are. Anything like pictures and anything that you've uploaded, this is where it lives. Um,
Okay.
and you can customize this bar if you want. It is good for coding. I have not used it myself for coding. I do know that all the people that I know that do a lot of vibe coding, as they call it, like to use Claude because it does make it much easier and fewer
It's a good
errors.
helper.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a good helper and it's got fewer errors. And they, yeah, they've told me that the Claude is very good. But you can also pick out the different types of effort or thought you want in it as well.
Okay.
Anybody out there want to ask Claude anything?
Oh, boy.
Here we go.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
And it likes point form. Very good.
It likes, yes, most of them will have point form to begin with, which is very nice and clear. Um,
We have a question in the chat, then, Natalie.
oh, great.
Carol's asking, can you show people how to use Google Camera that will give you info on the item you are taking a picture of? Um,
Oh,
Now,
sure.
I can, I'm just, my thoughts are there that I can understand that in the context of having a smartphone, but not sure if that's a little awkward on a computer, but,
It's okay. We'll get my smartphone out here.
oh my goodness, wonderful.
Okay. Now, it might not work great because this is now on my computer. So taking a picture of something, I'll have to stop it for a moment. But if I go to my Google here
Okay.
and I click on this little picture,
Hmm.
I can take, so give me a moment. I'll take a picture of something here. Here, this little plant here. Let's take a picture of this little plant. Okay. So I've taken a picture of this little plant here, and I can look up at the information. Yeah,
Oh, I
yeah.
see there. Yeah.
And then this is the AI overview, and then there's all sorts of different websites that talk about it here. Some of it is shopping, and some of it is about the information. So this appears to be so it is an artificial one. Um, so you can ask what you can refine the request. What is
Okay.
this mimicking? And then it should give you more information. But this is there we go.
Okay. Hmm. Now, did Google get that right? Was it an artificial plant you were taking a photo of?
It is indeed an artificial plant.
Wonderful, wonderful.
That's the
Okay.
closest thing I had. So, all
Yeah.
right. So that's how you use that. And this is also AI generated. So make sure that if you're taking a picture, you sort of not only rely on the AI summary, but also go look at the websites because sometimes the AI summary has not been correct. I've looked at a bird and it was not that bird at all, for
Oh,
example.
okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
make sure that you verify the other websites as well to make sure that what you're seeing is actually what you're getting. Okay.
Okay. So you were mentioning sometimes it makes mistakes. Yes.
Yes, it does. So you have to be in anything AI generates for you, you have to be a very critical thinker and say, is this right? And if you're asking it to generate a letter, for example, you have to reread it, make sure that it doesn't sound too robotic for one thing, because there are sometimes my son used AI to make his resume
Okay.
and the way it was slotted sounded very much like AI had made this. It was not very human-like. It was very sort of robotic type of thing. So we fixed some of the language, that type of thing, to make sure that it sounded like it was a person and not just ripped strictly from AI. So just make sure you reread everything because um, it's it's good, but it's not us.
Okay.
So
Okay.
100%. Yeah.
yeah.
Um, Giselle is asking, how accurate is trip planning? I can just preface that by stating a couple of years ago, I went out to Yellowstone and used ChatGPT to suggest an itinerary, and it actually selected or identified a few places that I would not have otherwise known to stop, and turned out to be a big value add in the vacation. But Natalie, I'll let you say a few words about that, perhaps.
I have found the same thing. I planned a trip to Spain and a trip to Portugal and asked it as I have some nutritional issues and so does my husband. And at the time when I went to Spain, I had just come off a big surgery, so I asked for, you know, less difficult walking tours initially and that type of thing. And it did a really great job of finding all those things for me. And it is even more it's improved even more because now it actually links to things like kayak and that type of thing, where you can actually, you know, even look at the kayak website and book right from there if you are into that. So it is
Okay.
quite good. I haven't had it make the only thing like one restaurant it recommended I'd closed down, and I guess it hadn't
Right.
been fixed in on Google yet, so it didn't know. Um,
Mhm.
so just you may have some mild disappointments, but usually it's pretty good.
Sure, sure. Take it for a grain with a grain of salt. And similar to that, when I was planning the trip to Yellowstone, the one of the times it gave me an itinerary that had me traveling just for, I think, an hour for on the second day, as opposed to I wanted to drive like 6 or 7 hours to make progress, and it really wasn't an efficient use of time. So I just adjusted the inputs and asked it to try again, and until I got something that looked like a
Yeah.
good fit. Yeah, you had to use
And
your
if you
judgment.
That's right. And if you're, for example, planning a trip into Toronto and using public transportation, just make sure you're looking at the public transportation schedules as well as what your AI might be telling you, because sometimes those things change and
Right.
AI may not be caught up. So I think somebody else had a question, I think.
I don't see
Oh,
anything.
no.
Can I ask you
Okay.
one more
Yeah,
perhaps?
absolutely.
One of the in the section what AI can do, you were
Yeah,
discussing searching anything, writing emails, finding recipes, planning a trip. You mentioned learning anything,
that's right.
and to construct some sort of a study mode. Could you maybe say a few more words around that task that AI can help with?
So I really like Microsoft because it actually has a study mode built into it. It says study and learn. I know it says it in French here. I'm sorry.
Okay.
But this third option in Copilot says study and learn, and it does give you a guided learning. So if there's something someone would like to learn about,
Okay. So, is there anything we want to learn about? I won't use the
uh,
fluid mechanics, but maybe something like how to hang a
a new
picture on a
language.
wall.
Somebody suggested a new language.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. So can you show or can you teach me uh, uh, Japanese? Let's try a really hard one. Uh, in I am a complete beginner. Please use lessons, quizzes, and tests. And then I will put it to this mode, and then I will, okay. So the first thing is the three different types of alphabets. I am starting to learn that on Duolingo, so I know about that much. And then and then it tells you that higana is made of sounds, not letters. Ka is this. And let me ask you something. If Japanese uses sound instead of letters, what do you think that means for how words are built? So then you can hazard your guess, and then it will build from that, and it will quiz you along the way, and it will teach you along the way. That's why I like Copilot best for this. Um, ChatGPT does a decent job as well, but I think Copilot does the best job.
Okay, that's good to
Yeah.
know. Good to know. And we just had one more person. Giselle's asking, can it teach you to play the piano? Or I guess can it give you outline some piano lessons?
It probably can. Let's check. Can you give me some lessons for me to learn piano? I am a complete beginner. This might actually work better if you had a tablet, because then it probably will be able to record some of what you're doing and then give you oral feedback. All right, so it
Okay.
does give you some exercises there, and then gives you this next exercise. Find every C on the piano. It shows you where to find the C with these pictures. Um, and then lesson two, your first notes. Thumb one plays C, D, E, which is what you would use anyway on the piano. And then it gives you an exercise. So
Okay.
it can give it to you up to a point. I think,
Hmm.
once you're getting good, I think you'll need a teacher, because they won't be able to do the whole thing. But if you are just beginning and learning to play the piano, it can give you some pretty decent lessons to begin with.
Oh, that's
Okay.
wonderful.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
again, if you have a tablet, it might do an even better job, because then it will ask you to record it, maybe if you have that record button enabled. Okay,
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, A1
yeah.
is amazing. I had put in an order through a restaurant. It was California sandwich. And the way the lady was talking, we thought it was real. went over there to pick it up. The store was closed. Came back, called her, and we said to her, "Are you AI?" And she's saying, "Yes."
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So amazing. Yeah, it
And
does happen.
Carol made a comment. Google Translate is great when traveling and language is an issue. I can second that. I was just
Yep.
again in Europe last month, and I stayed in a hostel, met some dorm mates who didn't speak too much English. So Google Translate enabled us to communicate between French and English really wonderfully, just to really establish that connection. So
When
I
when you
go ahead.
yeah, when you're using Google Translate, it's great because you can take pictures of what you are looking at. Sorry, I'm going to bring my
Yes,
phone back up here.
Good. Excellent.
So you can take a picture of any text. So this was very good when we were grocery shopping to
Yeah.
look at ingredients, considering both my husband and I have some uh, dietary issues. But you can take your picture, your camera, use your camera right there to scan anything that you're reading. I don't have anything right now, but you
right.
could scan anything and it will give you the direct translation right on your screen for those of you who've never used it before. And you can change the languages up there, and it's really quite useful.
Yeah, I can attest to that. It really helped help when I was in France.
And
Yeah,
this is new. This is new, and it uses AI, but it's got your now on Google Translate. It will allow you to practice different phrases and that type of thing orally, so you can talk. And you can, if you click the button here, it will actually listen to whatever the person is saying, and you'll be able to figure out what they're saying. So
wonderful. Wow.
yeah, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So AI is really can be very, 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 very useful. As you can see, there's lots of different applications now that make it much easier for you to deal with life in general. But it can also, unfortunately, create if not used properly, it can give you some grief when you're looking at those AI scams, etc.
Right. So
Yeah.
use it as
So I
go ahead.
yeah. I do have a few different things that you can look at. So these are some of the things that AI can do for you. It can draft an email, plan a trip, simplify a topic, talk to me about I don't know, some sort of physics that I don't understand in the way a 10-year-old might be able to understand. Um, get a recipe, learn a hobby. I want to start to learn to play the piano, to garden, to whatever. It will give you some examples. Understand the news. So, if, for example, in the news there's something you don't quite understand, you can ask it to explain it to you, and it will do that. Um, again, guided learning. Ask for PC help. And we haven't talked about this. But
Mm.
anytime you have a computer issue, I can't connect my phone to my speaker. Can you help me? It will give you some steps. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it doesn't work. And then what I would do if the first one doesn't work, I go to my second AI. And if that doesn't work, then I go to my third AI.
Oh,
Because it
wow.
has happened that it's not giving me the instructions I want. Um, for whatever software I'm using or whatever, then I will go to somewhere else. It can help you summarize a website or a video. You can upload, like you can give it a YouTube URL and you can ask it to summarize whatever was on there, and it will do that. If you're still working with something somewhere and they've recorded, for example, this recording right here, it's going to be shared with all of you. You can give it the URL of whatever the YouTube video will be, and you can ask it to summarize it for you, and it will give you a nice summary rather than having to listen through the whole thing to get the thing you're looking for instance. It can help you create and edit images. And if you click Discover in the Copilot side panel, then it has the Copilot Daily, which sort of aggregates a bunch of different news from all sorts of places and puts it there. So there we go.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Natalie. I learned a lot. I hope everyone else found this interesting too. Really appreciate you taking the time to educate us seniors so we can make our retirement a little bit better.
Mhm.
Um, I just
Sing
remind
it.
every, I just remind everyone, the plan is we've recorded this and we'll make it available probably in about 72 hours. I'll send you guys an email for all the registered attendees an email once it is posted on our YouTube channel and available for review. Um, Again, Natalie, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us. Oh, and there will be a survey at the end when you step away. If you don't mind uh, taking a moment to give us some input, that will help us make our future Zooms better.
Just
Again,
wanted to I just wanted to say that there's lots more information about technology on the Canadian Abilities website. They have their Safety First and their Tech Talks First or Tech Talks booklets that you can find right on their website, which has all sorts of interesting information, including a little bit about AI on there. Anything more, Maria?
No,
Okay.
that's about it. What I was gonna say as well. You can find us at CanadianAbilities.org, and you can access not just these booklets, but also our magazines, our publications that you might find interesting. You can read articles and also download the full magazines there as well.
okay.
Thank
Great. I
you.
also want to thank Dana Thompson. She's the one who brought this up for us to look into. So thank you, Dana, for bringing this topic to us. Well, okay.
Well, thanks
Thank you,
everybody.
everybody.
Okay, for attending, and hope you have a good rest of the afternoon.